Hey everybody, and welcome back to Blacklist Universe. This is Mike Miller, your 32-year comic book industry veteran. And today we're going to be doing Red Sonja. Why are we doing Red Sonja today? Because as you notice on the side of the screen, this is the latest cover for the Red Sonja book. And, where's Red Sonja? Like, honestly, Red Sonja is known for being a beautiful, buxom, red-haired she-devil. Sex appeal is why she exists. I mean, if you look at the Conan and the Red Sonja and all these fantasy characters, the whole genre is heavy weapons laden but scantily clad heroes from yore. And instead of playing up that angle, which is the traditional angle, I mean, gosh darn it, you see this in romance novels, for Pete's sake. Why are you stripping Red Sonja of the things, of the reasons, frankly, the reasons people would buy a Red Sonja book? Nobody's buying Red Sonja just because of the story, right? It's because of the character. It's because the character is, like I said, it's the red-headed she-devil from Samaria. This was brought to my attention by John Trent over at Fandom Pulse. If you have not checked out the website, please do. John also did an article today on how they're race-swapping Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon, so I'll probably end up doing that video next. It never ends. None of this insane DEI, SJW, race-swapping baloney ever ends. But back to the drawing. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I've done these drawings of Red Sonja, holding the head of an orc or, some lopped off head of some villain or whatnot, not time and time again, but I've done it before. And I thought that basic motif would make for a great cover. So here we go. I've got her in her, obviously, semi-muscular, athletic Red Sonja build, because she's hefting around, what, a 8-10 pound sword, swinging it like a boss. Red Sonja is one of the original girl bosses, and this is the thing: you've got girl bosses in media, and again, you have an opportunity to portray the girl boss. And fine, I haven't read the book, and I'm sure there's girl boss stuff in the book, but why? What about that cover that you see on the left? I'm going to bring it up again. Is going to appeal to anyone. You're walking by, you're in the airport, you're looking for a book, and you see, oh, look, it's a sword on that thing. There's a reason they don't just have sword handles on romance novels for chicks. There's a reason they don't have, there's a reason why lowrider magazines have those bikini babes. Sex sells. I hate to tell you, I hate to break it to you guys. If you're trying to make money out there in publishing, I mean, you don't have to do pornography and stuff, but sexy, beautiful women, they do sell. You know what? My art teacher in college, my painting teacher, he was telling me this. He was not, he's just a painting teacher, but he was explaining, like, advertising. If you look at, like, billboards or ads, back in the day anyways, because they're trying so hard to get away from the fact that men are men and women are women, that it's like they're trying to, hey, let's use a sword handle for a Red Sonja cover. But back in the day, when advertisers realized what attracted the eyeball, they wouldn't even have to put a whole woman on an advertisement. And it didn't have to even be like boobs or butts or anything. It could be a hand. It could be a leg. It could be an ankle. It could be a knee. It's right. A thigh, a neck, anything that, like I was saying in the video yesterday, God created the female form to be absolutely beautiful and absolutely just eye attracting. Like the female form is like the flower, right? The flower is there to be stared at. Not lusted over, mind you. This is a different topic, but it's just beautiful, and it does attract the eye. And if you're not using it, this is about marketing per se. If you've got a character who's built on that very foundation of being a sexy redhead who kicks butt, girl boss all day long, Red Sonja, you deserve it, you earned it, and you're not even going to put her on the cover of the media that you've done for that character, you are you're trying so hard to be woke that you're broke. And I mean, I know it's the whole get woke, go broke thing. It's just reality. They're so woke, they ignore everything that will make them money. And don't get me wrong, again, I haven't read the book. It might be the greatest Red Sonja book in the history of Red Sonja media. It could be. It could well be. But you're going to get far fewer people knowing that if you don't put Red Sonja on the cover. And you put her on there, you make her beautiful, you make her tough, you make her, look, play into the girl boss. You guys are just begging to make girl bosses. You've got the archetypical girl boss in Red Sonja. Don't waste that opportunity because you don't want to put a scantily clad... If you don't want to work with scantily clad female characters, why are you writing a Red Sonja book? She is a scantily clad female character. She will never be anything but a scantily clad female character. That is who the character is. If you start dressing Red Sonja up in a pantsuit, nobody's going to ever read it again. That's not... Can we just honor the characters as their creators intended them? Please? Why is it so difficult for modern writers, modern leftist writers, let me clarify, to just honor what has gone before them? It's infuriating because, I know Gail Simone's a good writer. She's done some great stuff in comics over the years, but she's a tad on the left. And so and actually, you know what? This isn't fair because this is a novel and publishers tend to be in control of the cover artwork for novels. Like 99 times out of 100, the author themselves doesn't get any say in what the cover looks like. So I'm not going to lay this at the feet of Gail Simone. Gail might have just written a fantastic Red Sonja story, and the publishers are like, you know what we should do? We should kneecap this by putting a sword on the cover and not utilizing every avenue we can to make sales, which on a hot girl boss character, that would be actually putting the hot girl boss on the cover. It's not rocket science, and I do feel like I'm regurgitating the information that I'm giving you here, but because it's just so painfully obvious that it drives me a little bit apoplectic to see this going on again. This stuff constantly happening in our world where they're just trying to erase beautiful women because they're beautiful women, and you just can't have beautiful women anymore, right? It's just not allowed. In the SJW DEI world, beautiful women aren't allowed anymore. So that's that. Anyways, let's get to the art part of this. I was doing, so obviously this isn't just a character design. This is me doing a little tighter of a, illustration. And I'm using a little bit sketchier of an inking style than I generally do. I've been enjoying Dan Panosian's posts on X lately. I love Dan. Dan's a great guy. He also kind of a little bit of a crazy leftist, but great guy. And he's just gotten so good over the years. And just looking at like sort of I don't know if I'll say rough, but it is kind of rough, sketchy inks that he's been doing. I wanted to try something a little bit like that. It's hard for me to break with my go-to style. I hope you can see a little bit of difference in here. I notice it because it's me, but most people don't even pay attention to inking, which makes me feel bad for all the inkers out there, because really an inker can make or break a piece of art. Not to throw any shade the inkers on this book that came out, Alpha Core, but Joe Bennett does these great pencil. They're not really pencils; they're breakdowns, right? And here's the thing. Back in the good old days of comic books, you had different rates. You had pencil rates, which is when someone draws very tight pencils so that the inker can basically just trace and then add style here and there, right? And then you had a breakdown rate, which is you don't quite get all the way to that tight pencil finish. And so it leaves a lot up to the inker to sort of translate scribbles and sketches into inked line work, and that's called doing finishes. From the handful of pages I saw Joe Bennett doing, he kind of teeters between breakdown and pencils, and so you really need a freaking excellent top talent inker to really bring out the best in Joe Bennett's breakdown / pencils. I would love to actually take a hit at a couple of pages of that just for fun, maybe a cover or something. Sandra Hope, she said she used to work with Joe Bennett, and the pages came out freaking fantastic. But that's why you look at Alpha Core, and it's like some of the pages are just, well, for me, again, because most people don't even pay attention to inks, but I'm fastidious about this sort of thing. Banger job on some pages, and then some page, because I think he had like 4 or 5 different inkers. But some of those inkers knew how to do finishes. Some of those inkers would probably be really good inkers just on finished pencils. But when you're putting one of those guys, and I know because I've worked with these guys in the past, I've worked with all kinds of inkers. And there's some inkers that they do great. If you give them finished pencils, they can do bang on inks. But if you give them breakdowns, they just don't have the skill set to understand all of what's going on in the scribbles and the jiggles and the wiggles and biggles that are in breakdowns, right? Like Terry Austin and John Byrne used to have like shorthand. Like John Byrne would just do a squiggle. Terry Austin would understand what John wanted to do. And then you end up with these awesome pencils and inks from John Byrne and Terry Austin. Well, Joe Bennett needs, if Joe's going to keep, why am I talking about Joe this whole time? My point is that inks matter. Inks make or break art. And you can see here in the face particularly, you can see a little bit of that inspiration from what the direction that Dan Panosian's been going. I really do like what he's been doing. It's really not my style, but I'm kind of like, I'm not, and I wasn't even looking at a piece of his. I was just thinking about it. And it's like, this would be a little sketchier. Let's see what this looks like if I'm not as anal retentive in my inks for this. And then you can see I do slip back into my anal retention on a lot of it. But it's hard to break. I am a very anal retentive inker, generally speaking. So it's like trying to loosen me up and do that. It's a different step. And here I go. I did the basic tint tone hue coloring on this. Now, if I was actually doing this as a fully paid, fully rendered, colored cover for a client, or for myself or whatever, I wouldn't do just the three stage tint tone hue. I would do a lot more rendering. I would do secondary light sources. I would do rim lighting. I would do a lot more. I'd do atmospherics. But I'll just be frank with you. I did this, and this, just doing this whole style like this took me twice as long as doing one of my character renders that I usually do for this channel. And what I don't want to do is spend an entire day, doing this, because this isn't par for the course for this channel. I do characters. Doing a cover, it's a little bit out of the course. So I did spend twice as much time doing it, but like I'm saying, if you're out there looking to hire me, but I'm not for hire right now, but you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be doing the quote unquote animation style coloring. I would be doing a fully rendered, soft rounding, all the stuff that I mentioned before. But I just brought this to a level where I thought, you know what, this works with the channel. This works for the character. And as long as it looks good, isn't that all that really, really matters? Because I'm not getting paid for this. Yes, I am doing this gratis. I'm just doing this so that I can, share my wealth of information with the world. And hope that I get a few of you guys to subscribe to the channel. Because I know, looking at my analytics, that the majority of you guys are not subscribing to the channel. If you like this content, please subscribe, share it out if you want to too. Hit that bell for all notifications too. Don't forget about that. And so here I did the tint tone hue, and then I went around, bounced around with the highlights where things would be shiny, like the eyes and the swords and the not the chainmail, the scale mail and all that stuff. And then I just went in and it's fairly muted tones altogether, and I just went in and I dropped the opposite color of her hair in the background. It's red Sonja, so you want her hair to be what sort of pops out about her. Like the rest of it is kind of meld in, but you know, the dark colors of the green and then the flesh tone is light. I think it balanced out pretty well. Yeah, if I spent another 6 hours on it, this would look entirely different, but I can't do that. I do have other things I need to do. I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like my Red Sonja cover rendition, and I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.